We take up some of the most challenging questions on this channel, but approach it from a completely spiritual lens. Like the topic of today, what is the purpose of life? This is an age-old question, and many probably have a ready-made answer. Wouldn't an answer be, it is to attain moksha? But the cards fall when we go deeper on why moksha. What does it mean? And is moksha really the purpose of life? And in case you're wondering, you will see in today's video, we are not going to assume that moksha is our purpose of life. The beauty of spiritual inquiry is that you don't have to criticize another's viewpoint. But in many ways, spiritualists are like students of science. We continue to inquire and get to the fundamentals. Is spirituality completely devoid of faith? Answer is no. Because a spiritualist thrives on faith, except it is faith through knowledge of authentic scriptures that are validated for its authenticity through experience and universal applicability. By the way, even a student of science needs faith. The faith in his or her ability to inquire and be guided with the results of experimentation. Well, before I go off further on a tangent, let me get back to the topic. What is the purpose of life? While it is a profound question, it's also a very simple one. Just look around you in this vast universe. Don't you see the power of divinity all around you? In its vast expanse, with all the shades of good, bad, happiness, sorrow, ups and downs. And yet, somehow there is a magical sense of equilibrium. Even though all the challenges and tribulations, even through all of them, things settle down into a new normal. Divinity always seems to drive an equilibrium and a normalcy. But divinity at its core had one main purpose. Its purpose to evolve, expand, and grow. What is your first purpose of life then? Well, it is the same as divinity, isn't it? To evolve, expand, and grow. And that is this first manifestation of divinity. We perceive material things around us, including our own body. We are physical in nature and thrive or perish on physical connections. The physical or material value we gain through the expansion of our physical needs becomes by default our very first purpose in life. No one is spared from this need to evolve, expand, and grow, be it our own bodies or the life we lead. Think about it. We nurture a child for growth. We nurture a plant for growth. We nurture our education for a career. Each one of us is by default put into this mode of evolve and expand. At work, at home, with family, with friends, with our interactions, there is a physical or material value we always yearn and aspire. The promotion you get in a job, the happiness you gain on your child excelling in academics, all give you a material value. Through material value, you seek purpose. This then becomes the obvious purpose of life. So that is the first purpose of life. Now let's look at the second purpose of life. As we evolve and extract material value from this divinity, there is something else that creeps into us. And that is an urge to do something more than what we have. We don't stop And there is a continual quest to grow more, acquire more, and almost we have an unsatisfying thirst. We seem to be in a constant mode of movement and restlessness. The Gita calls it achala in verse 53, chapter 2. This force within us continues to flow like water finding its path of least resistance and seeping through the cracks. Even the spiritual amongst us, the saintly amongst us, have this continual quest. Except the quest may be towards objects of material value, or it could be directed at gaining subtle value by nurturing learning into knowledge and gaining wisdom. But again, make no mistake, at the core of it is still the continual quest. This value of gratification, value the mind senses in subtle manner, is our second purpose of life. This continual quest, or in common language called as desire, is of course another manifestation of divinity. And for sure, my friends, it is your second purpose of life. Like the material value, none can escape this purpose or the continual quest. Fundamental and embedded in these two purposes I discussed is to gain something, as we believe that through this gain is the key to happiness and satisfaction. But do you realize there is a miracle happening as well? Without even any deeper spiritual quest, we are chipping away at life, thinking that the material value and the value of gratification gives us freedom and perpetual joy. A fortunate few of us, though, pause as they go on this quest to evolve, expand, and continual quest or desire. Through introspection and self-reflection, questions get asked. How much can I really evolve and grow? To what end? After I get gratification through my continual quest or desire, do I stop? Or am I on to the next thing? And where does this all end? The moment these questions come up, then you are still driving on the road of life. Except the road is like a rumbled strip on the highway. You might have seen those rumbled strips on the highway. They are laid to alert the motorist of dangers and to become aware. Similarly, the moment you ask questions, you hit the rumbled strip on your life's highway. You get alerted to the potential fallacies of chasing physical or material value and the value of mental gratification. Meaning, you question the very two purposes of life that you thought were truth. At this point, an individual could become dejected and think the only recourse to escape these two purposes is complete renunciation. As, of course, cessation of the need to evolve or material value and cessation of continual quest or desire will bring in complete detachment. And in complete detachment definitely lies freedom. But the path prescribed by the Gita is a practical one for you and I to follow. And that is to live in the midst of a life where material value and value of gratification is inescapable. But we do so with a guiding principle. And that guiding principle is called dharma. According to Gita and the Upanishads, this guiding principle becomes the guardrails of our life. As we live and pursue the purposes of material value and value of mental gratification, dharma or the guiding principle becomes the balancing pointer in a weighing scale and brings in equilibrium. As Krishna says in chapter 7 verse 11, even mental gratification or desire is a manifestation of the divine, when performed through the guiding principle or dharma. Dharma is demonstrated and executed through our behavior, meaning it refers to righteous duty in your role. An individual plays different roles in life, and the righteous duty in each may be different. Dharma here is dependent on the role. Dharma considers the context and the object in action, meaning dharma factors both an objective and subjective view. The situation in which the action is being performed is given importance to decide if it is dharmic. The same action may be perceived as right by one individual and wrong by the other individual. It is only through a holistic view that both can see the action as dharmic. When dharma gets applied, only time will tell if the principle applied was right, as judging dharma requires one to be impersonal and not emotional. And we all know that in the spur of the moment, we are slaves to emotions. Becoming dharmic or developing the muscle of dharma requires us to continuously become the observer. When we do that as an observer, then the acts we perform to fulfill the two purposes of life, which is of material value and mental gratification, get executed in harmony. We then get closer to what Krishna describes in chapter 2, verse 70, which is being tranquil in the middle of surging waters. So the two purposes of life are fundamental to our existence. Don't be told otherwise, but they gain meaning when they are performed with a foundation of dharma. At this juncture, we realize the rumbled strip on life's highway has awakened us. And without even any specific explicit effort, we seem to effortlessly cruise on the road, even with the dualities of pain, pleasure, ups and downs. We continue to evolve. We continue to have the mental gratification quest or desire, but they get channeled as they are now streamlined by the guardrails of dharma. When this happens, we are now in sync with the mystic ways in how this universe works. We are attached, but we are detached. We experience peace and feel liberated. We work, but do so as that is our duty. It is like the river that flows, not because anyone asked it to flow, but it flows because it is its inherent nature. Few of us come to that realization that material value and mental gratification underpinned by dharma is true liberation, and that true liberation is actual moksha. Moksha is not a destination, but the underlying wrapper that was always there. Through the brush of dharma and knowledge coupled with righteous action, we cleared the cobwebs away to merge with that underlying wrapper. There, my spiritual friends, is the purpose of life, which is evolve and grow with a continual quest or desire supported on the tip of a dharmic scale. To realize the always existing wrapper of liberation called moksha. Our Upanishads and Gita call the material value as artha. The mental gratification or desire that I described, which was the second purpose, as kama. Supported on the tip of a guiding principle, dharma. And all functioning under the various manifestations of the underlying wrapper, which always was there, of a liberated state called moksha. This is purushartha, or the objective of human life. There you have the very purpose of life. It is not on a linear scale, but it is on an equilibrium, balanced at the tip of Dharma to realize and uncover the underlying wrapper which always existed. That is Purushartha, Purusha, Artha, or the objective of human life. Stay blessed. I will talk to you soon.